All right. Hi, how are you? I'm Mel Robbins, and this is Coffee Talk. I need my coffee. Coffee Talk is my live weekday broadcast where I bring you behind the scenes on what I'm doing, what the team is doing, what we're working on, and also where I share uh, everything that I'm learning with you. And today's coffee talk is all about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And I'm sure you've heard that statement, right? Feel the fear. And the thing that I want to talk to you about today is that there is not only a lot of inspiration behind that statement, feel the fear, but there's also a lot of science behind it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That if you want to get through and break through your fears that are holding you back, you're going to need to learn to feel the fear and do it anyway. Um, yesterday, I also want to just say that we talked about oh no, it wasn't yesterday. Was it yes? Did we go live yesterday? I'm having a hard time remembering what's going on in my life because I've been on the road since Sunday. I'm now in Miami. Yesterday we talked about living your passion, and a lot of you were confused about where to turn in your life if you don't know how to live with more passion. A lot of you keep saying you want to find your passion, and so I want to remind you about the fact that if you missed yesterday's training, it's a really important one about the definition of passion because passion is something that's in you, it's something that you unlock, it's something that you release. It is not something that you go and find outside of you, it's something you tap into inside of you. If you missed that training, make sure you go to Facebook or go to YouTube and you can watch that training in full. It's a super, super, super important one. But today we're going to be talking about feel the fear. Because what you're going to learn today is that we tend to think about fear as something that's up here, that the fears are all in our heads. Well, the truth is, your body feels fear and remembers fear and senses fear way before your mind does. And the reason why I want to talk to you about this is because, as many of you know, we have a brand new audiobook that just launched with Audible Originals. So, Audible Originals is an imprint inside of Audible. We are a major partner of Audible's, and we just released a brand new audiobook. It's their number one new release on Audible called Take Control of Your Life: How to Silence Fear and Win the Mental Game. And there were some unbelievable things that I learned and that my team learned and that we're now sharing with you in doing that project. So, Take Control of Your Life isn't your typical audiobook. It's not me just reading a book that I wrote. What Take Control of Your Life is Take Control of Your Life is a live coaching and takeaway program that's 10 hours long. And so there are 6 people that you meet when you listen to Take Control of Your Life. And they have fears, just like you have fears that are holding them back, just like you have fears that hold you back, fears that impact your life in a negative way. And we go session by session for 6 sessions. You listen to the coaching session, you hear about somebody else's fear, you hear me coaching this person live. And then I spend like 45 minutes unpacking the entire coaching session for you. And on top of it, you guys, there's a 55-page workbook that our team designed that goes along as a companion to this audiobook. And you don't even need to buy the audiobook to get the workbook or to get the takeaways, because I'm giving you the takeaways for free here on our live stream. So if you want the audiobook, just go to melrobbins.com/take control and you can download the audiobook. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is I'm going to talk to you about the session that we did with Heather in Take Control of Your Life. And it's a really incredible session because Heather is held back at work because what happens is when she has to have a really difficult conversation, when there's something that she wants to talk to her boss about, when there's a conflict with one of her colleagues. You ever have a conflict with your colleagues at work? Ever feel like you work in a toxic work environment? Well, this is something that you need to understand. Sometimes the toxicity in your work environment is about the other people. And sometimes the toxicity in your work environment or in your life environment or your friend environment is about stored memories in your body from your childhood. I know it's crazy stuff because the saying, feel the fear and do it anyway, it's true because your body feels situations that set you, uh, that puts you in a state of being afraid before your mind catches up and starts thinking about what you're afraid of. And so, one of the key takeaways from Take Control, and one of the things that I want to teach you today, is that if you start to tune into your body and you start to notice the signals that your body is sending to you in your day to day life, signals like butterflies in your stomach, signals like feeling a rush of energy up to your neck, signals like your armpits sweating, signals like your hands getting sweaty, signals that your body is stepping and noticing a situation that reminds it of your past. Learning how to read those signals that, oh my God, here goes my body. My body is starting to recognize that this is a situation that puts me on edge. Recognizing those signals first and slowing the body response down before your brain starts to go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, that is a critical skill in taking control of your life. And it's something that we learned about by doing this project with Audible and that you can learn about today in today's live broadcast. So when you feel out of control, maybe you have to have a conversation. Like, give me a situation in the comments. Tell me a situation right now when you think about it that it makes your stomach turn. There's something that you need to do. There's a conversation that you need to have. Tell me what it is. Do you have to talk to your sister in law? Do you have to go talk to your boss? We got an incredible email today from a woman. Let me see if I can pull it up so I can give her a shout out. Um, we got an incredible email today from a woman whose name Michelle. She took our Mindset Reset program after her sister recommended it. She watched 3 of the 30 trainings, just like you're watching a training right now. And then she started listening to my first audiobook, The 5 Second Rule, which is absolutely incredible. It's like having me sit next to you and just chatting with you for 8 or 9 hours. And she started to realize, oh my God, I have been so fearful and so worried all the time. And I didn't even realize how much of my worries and my fears are constantly in my head. And I can relate to that. How many of you do you feel like you worry too much? Do you feel like you live in your head too much? Do you wish that your mind was a more positive place? You know, my daughter and I are here in Miami, and I'm just like you. My mind can be my worst enemy. I was laying in bed last night and I had fallen asleep and I kept waking up. And you know what I was thinking about? I was waking up because I could hear people in the hallway kind of coming in from a late night of partying. And you know what the first thing that my mind defaulted to? There being a fire in the hotel. And I started having these visions of my daughter and I going down the stairwell and getting trapped. And then I had visions of us being on the balcony on this room and fire kind of engulfing. And what are we doing? Are we tying a rope? I mean, it's just insanity, absolute insanity. And I used the techniques that I teach you. I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I am not thinking about this. And the thought disappeared because I constantly reset my mindset. And, you know, one of the reasons why I'm telling you this is if you are tired of feeling negative, if you feel often that your own thoughts are the things that trip you up in life, that you wish that your mind were more positive, I'm telling you that I'm the same way. Just because I teach this stuff, just because I study this, just because I do what I do for a living, doesn't make me immune to what it means to be human. And what it means to be human is that your brain and your body want you to survive. Your brain and your body remember situations that scare the daylights out of you. Your brain and your body try to talk you out of anything that makes you feel risky. And your brain, given that it has been trained by situations in the past, and given that you allow it to worry all the time, you have a habit of doing it. If you're not careful and you're not deliberate, your brain will default to scary crap like mine was last night. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means that your brain is thinking something that's broken, and it's time for you to reset your mindset and pull it back. So, where does this all connect up with feel the fear and do it anyway? What is one thing that you know that you need to do that when you think about doing it, and a lot of times it's a conversation, when you think about doing it, you get a pit in your stomach? I want you to write in the comments, what is that thing that you are afraid to do? You know you should do it. It's probably a conversation. And oh, here we go. My 29-year-old son came home. He's living with us temporarily. He's bringing women home late night from the bars. He's a lot like his father, so very confrontational. Having that conversation gives you a pit. Um, Starting writing my book, having a conversation with my coach, leaving my home, driving, asking for my raise that I'm worth, quitting my job, calling that prospect in my business, paying my taxes, paying my bills, working out in front of other people, doing a presentation. These are all driving to another state in busy traffic, um, reaching out to new clients. Excellent. Opening up a business. So as you think about this thing that you want, what immediately happens is you feel a pit in your stomach. That's what happens before your mind even goes, oh, I'm scared to call prospects. Oh, I'm scared to leave a secure job. Oh, I'm scared to write this new script. Oh, I'm scared to lose weight. I'm scared to address the issues in my marriage. I'm scared to talk to my husband about money. I'm scared to stand up for myself. I'm scared to act as I feel I should because I'm scared about the negative consequences. Your brain doesn't even process it yet. What happens is you have an idea about this thing that you know you need to do, and you immediately feel a pit in your stomach, or you feel your chest tighten, or you feel energy rise up into your neck, right? Your body is feeling the fear first. And believe it or not, part of the self awareness and self mastery and the ability to move your life forward is not only in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finding the instant motivation and courage to push yourself forward, but the true liberation and freedom is going to come when you start to understand the body signals that got programmed a long time ago in your body that are holding you back, and learning how in those moments when you get a pit in your stomach to recognize it and slow the body sensations down and then move forward before your mind starts talking you out of it. So a lot of what happens for us is you had situations when you were a kid, maybe your mom or your dad were really intense. Maybe you grew up in a very competitive household. Maybe you were the kind of kid that things were better in your house when you were seen but not heard. And your body remembers it. Your body remembers situations when your parents were yelling because as a kid it feels traumatic. Your body remembers situations where in a classroom you were nervous or afraid to be called out or be seen. Your body remembers moments when you were embarrassed. And so what's interesting is that um, your body will now face any situation where you're about to be seen or you're about to speak up or you're about to do something where you're facing uncertainty or you're about to face judgment. And your body remembers those situations and it starts to get nervous or agitated or on edge because it knows, oh my God, you're about to do something that's going to expose you, and your body wants to keep you safe. That's why your stomach starts to go grumbly. That's why your chest starts to get tight because you are about to do something that exposes you. You're about to do something that is new. You're about to do something that is scary, and your body wants to try to protect you. Now, your body's misreading the situation, by the way. And so I want to share with you a story. So this woman, for 10 years, she has thought about asking her boss, 10 years, if she can come in a little earlier and end her day at 4:30 so that she has more time with her husband and daughter in the evening. 10 years. And she's been thinking about it for 10 years because that's how long her daughter's been around. Her daughter is 10 years old. So for as long as she's had a daughter, she's been thinking about asking her boss. And you know what happens is every time she thinks about doing it, she gets a pit in her stomach. The pit in her stomach then makes her go, whoop, guess I better not do it. Oh, that's Kendall. Hold on. Let me just turn off this phone. Oh, my daughter left her phone here. She's been thinking about it, but then she gets this body signals, right? And she doesn't even realize she's afraid. The body signals make her body feel afraid. So she's been using the tools for 3 days that we're teaching. And yesterday she went in and she asked her boss if she could leave at 4:30. He said, no problem. And then because she had the courage to do that, she asked if there was a way for her to take this professional development class, something else she's been thinking about. But she has pits in her stomach, so she's not asking, right? The pit in her stomach, the fear in her body, it's stopping her. And it's stopping you too. The boss said, sure, let me talk to our fiscal director and see when we can actually put it in the budget for you to take the class. And what she said is, she said, just those two simple acts, just those two have boosted my confidence more than I ever thought possible. And that's how this all works together. And so back to today, feel the fear and do it anyway, that famous quote. I want to tell you a little bit about the science. So there's this famous neuroscientist called Antonio Damasio, and he did a really interesting study where he discovered that our body senses fear before our mind even realizes it. And when fear or danger, speaking to your boss, calling a prospect, going to the gym when you're not proud of the way that you look, it's not fear like terror. It's more that low grade agitation in your body. I felt it yesterday because I went to a boot camp class yesterday and I'm not in good shape and I don't do boot camp classes. And Kendall and I are staying at this hotel where, holy cow, everybody seems like there's some sort of professional weightlifter or Instagram model. And so it was really intimidating. And I could feel that agitation in my body. That's the kind of fear I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the paralysis fear your life is threatened and you really are in a life or death situation. I'm talking about the low grade agitation that is there when you're about to do something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. So when fear or danger is sensed in the body, your body begins a stress response before your mind even catches up. And if you want to take control of your life, you got to take control of that physical state. And it starts with catching these moments, everyone, when you start to feel it. Okay. And so for some of you, it may be a pit in the stomach. For some of you, it may be tightening in the chest. For Heather, who was one of the people I coached and Take Control, it was this massive wave of heat that went into her chest, tightness, a rash, and then she could start to feel that she was crying. You need to understand, how do you react to situations that make you nervous? Write it in the comments. Write it in the comments. Is it a tightness in your stomach? Is it a tightness in your chest? Is it a deep, tense breathing? Is it a rash? Do your thoughts race? What is it that happens to you when you think about going in and talking to your boss about a raise? What is it that happens to you when you think about picking up the phone and calling a prospect in your business? Here's tightness in the chest, crying, shallow breathing. The heat wave comes on. My thoughts start to race. My tummy gets upset. Excellent, excellent. These are all physiological responses of your body getting in a state where it's about to pay attention. It doesn't mean that anything's going to go wrong. The problem is when you feel that chest, sweat, stomach drop, the shutting down, the nervous belly, when you feel that, you immediately assume something is wrong, and you have trained yourself to do one of two things: shut up or don't show up. That's it. That's it. And what we want you to do is, I want you, when that happens, what I want you to do is go, oh, here's my body. Here's my body sensing something. Just call it out for what it is. And then I want you to slow your body down. I want you to take, and look, here's Ro the realtor. I used the 5-second rule to ask for a better commission split, and I got it. Good. Because here's the other interesting piece of science. You know that wave that you feel, or your tongue gets numb, or you get tightness in your cheeks, or you freeze? You know when that happens? Based on the science, there is only a 90-second chemical release in your body. It's called the 90-second rule. When your stomach starts to flutter, when your heart starts to race, when you feel this feeling of fear that you have that's unique to you, based on the science, there's a 90-second rule, and all of the chemical release that's happening, because your body is going into a state of being alert, it only sticks around for 90 seconds, as long as you don't let your thoughts race. If your thoughts start to race, you'll start to agitate the situation. So what we want you to do, what I want you to do, and if you go to melrobbins.com/take control and you download the 55-page workbook that goes with our audiobook that is the #1 new release on Audible called Take Control, How to Silence Fear and Win the Mental Game. If you look on pages 12 and 13 of the workbook, there's a long list of things that you can do to slow your body response to fear down. So the next time that your body goes into a state of alert, stomach gets tight, you feel frozen, you get stuck, you feel your neck, when the body starts to do that, #1, just remember, it means your body is getting ready to be alert and pay attention. And it does not mean you're going to lose control. It does not mean you're in danger. It does not mean to stop or to shut up. I want you to take a deep breath. Count to 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. And realize that the hormones that just got released because you're about to do something, they only last 90 seconds. That's it. You can breathe slowly. You can count to 90. You can get up and walk around. You can do 90 seconds of jumping jacks. You can meditate for 90 seconds. You can ground your feet in your chair and wiggle a minute so that you feel your body in your chair. And take deep breaths. And what you're going to find is that you're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away because what you're going to see is that in 90 seconds flat, you can go from being somebody who has an upset stomach and who would normally not go talk to your boss, who would normally not walk into that gym, who would normally not make that call. In 90 seconds flat, you can manipulate your body state to calm down, and you will notice that your thoughts do not race. Your thoughts calm down, you're in full control, and now you can speak up, and now you can show up. And here's what's even cooler. By doing this, by interrupting the fear response and the thoughts racing, you're retraining your body response to situations. The more you do this, the less on edge your body will be in similar situations. The more you do this, the less likely your thoughts will race when you get into situations that are uncomfortable or makes you scared. Let's see. What makes them worry? Tracy, before I sign up, I'm asking Tracy, my team member, do we have any questions that you want me to address? If you have questions, put them in the comments real quick. But what I want you to do today is I want you to think of a situation that you've been avoiding that makes you nervous. And I want you to do it. And I want you to expect for your body to go on edge. I want you to expect for it to feel uncomfortable. I want you to expect for your heart to race. And then I want you to use the techniques I'm talking about. I want you to go, oh, my body's getting ready to do something. It doesn't mean I'm losing control. In fact, I'm going to take control. You're going to take 90 seconds, wiggle into your seat, feel your body in your seat, take a deep breath, and you're going to slow your body response down, and then you're going to do it. And I want you to observe how you're able to control the situation in that window and how empowering it is. And I want you to tell us on social media, how did you use this? Take a photo of yourself at work using it. Take a photo of yourself outside the gym using it. Take a photo of yourself about to make a cold call using it, okay? That's what I want you to do today. Now, tomorrow we're going to be talking about another takeaway from Heather's session, and that is the power of expecting a no. We have a quick question. Kelly wants to know, does this work for PTSD? Kelly, we talk about PTSD extensively in The Power of You. Not in The Power of You, in Take Control, the new audiobook. In fact, the last session and the last pages of the workbook, which are free, are all about PTSD, and not PTSD necessarily around active duty, but PTSD that you might have by witnessing or experiencing trauma in your childhood or trauma even as an adult. And so, yes, this can be incredibly helpful with you trying to reprogram your response to triggers related to PTSD. And the last session of Take Control of Your Life is groundbreaking for PTSD because we talked to a woman who is a veteran, but ironically, the PTSD that it's not even ironically, um, the veteran, she's a veteran, but her PTSD comes from being raised in a very, very abusive household and all of the trauma that she experienced personally and that she witnessed. And it is life changing, absolutely life changing for you to listen to that session, for you to do the exercises in the workbook. And again, I'm talking about Take Control of Your Life, the #1 new release on Audible. And absolutely try it. The 5-second rule also works with reprogramming your response to triggers. And another thing that really works with PTSD, or people have had a tremendous amount of success with it, is EMDR therapy, the rapid eye movement light therapy. Lots and lots and lots of success with that. And you can combine all of these together. And of course, go talk to somebody about a professional if you have PTSD, because you need professional help and you deserve it. Somebody just asked, how long does it take to change your worry patterns? I think that's personal, but we have testimonials from around the world that people are seeing life-changing, radical changes in their body states and in their mindsets in a matter of 2 or 3 days. One story in particular sticks out. A woman was using all the techniques that we teach, from the 5-second rule to saying you're excited, to using anchor thoughts, to mastering your body response and quieting your body down before the fear hits your head. She had a daughter who was 6 years old who was throwing up before school. And within 2 days of using these techniques, this young lady was bounding out of the car, excited to go to school. Her teachers couldn't believe it, and neither could her mother. I get it, but why 90 seconds? It has to do with research done by people way smarter than me. It has to do with the fact that when you step into a situation and your body reads all of the signals around it as threatening, even if it isn't, talking to your boss, walking into the gym, starting to work on your novel, picking up the phone and making a cold call for a business that you love. Those are not dangerous situations, but your body reads it like it's dangerous because you're about to put yourself out there. You're about to expose yourself. And so your body gets tense and goes into a state of being alert, and stress hormones get released. And that body state only lasts for 90 seconds. If nothing happens to you, if there is no danger, all of the stress hormone disappears and you move on. The problem is that most of us feel the physical response. We get tense. We just had an excellent example. Every time my ex-husband brings his girlfriend to family events, I instantly get tense and insulted and have a physical response to seeing that. Exactly. I used to be like that too. That there were certain people that would show up at parties and I would feel this intense physical response because I felt very threatened. And you have to expect that you're going to feel it. The second you feel it, go, oh, here it is again. I'm not going to take control. I'm going to just quiet my body down, take a deep breath, and then you also have to come up with a plan B. So in a situation like that, you need an anchor thought, you need a plan B. I realize you're tense, I realize you're angry, I realize it makes you uncomfortable, but you must come up with a new way to think about your new life, because his ex-girlfriend doesn't matter. And if you make her that important, that you are that tense, then you're not moving on with your life. This is going to sound crazy, but if you had a terrible divorce, maybe you should be happy that she's stuck with him and you're no longer stuck with them. All right. Just go to social media and tag us. Post photos on social media of what you're doing and tag us, and that's it. And we'll find you. And we'll either feature in our story, or we're starting to feature a lot of your photos and behind the scenes stuff in our newsletter. Our newsletter went out today, by the way. If you're not on the list, we've got nearly 350,000 people from around the world that get our free weekly newsletter. It's a letter from me to you. sharing with you the things that I'm thinking about, scenes from behind the road, links to lots of cool stuff. If you want to get on it, just go to melrobbins.com. On the homepage, there's a free sign up for it. I think that's it. So, in case nobody else tells you today, I want to be the one to tell you that I love you and I believe in your ability to change your life for the better. Because when you change how you think, it changes your life. When you change the little things that you do, it changes your life. And as you learned today, when you feel the fear and you change your response to it and you settle your body, it changes your life. All right, have an awesome day. We'll be live again tomorrow from Miami, sometime between 8 and 10 a.m. Eastern. And tomorrow's training is about the power of expecting a no. It's a must-watch for anyone who is afraid of failing, anyone who's afraid of trying new things, anyone who is struggling with perfectionism, and that means it's perfect for you. All right, I will see you tomorrow, and I'll see you on social media for the rest of the day. Bye.